Hi everyone, Stephanie with Mama Bear Inc. Welcome back to my YouTube channel for another card making video today. If this is your first visit, I hope you'll consider subscribing. So this is the card that we're going to make today. It's just a really simple Valentine, some tone-on-tone layering, which I'm a sucker for. I just like it. I like the way that it looks. We're going to be using the Falling Petals embossing folder, new in our Occasions catalog, along with pieces and parts from the Sending Love suite in the Occasions catalog. This comes from, the stamp comes from the Sealed with Love stamp set. And the ribbon comes from our Celebration catalog. You can choose this. It comes in a combo pack with silver as well. This is the gold. It comes in a combo pack. It's 3/8 of an inch metallic ribbon. And it's kind of ivory ribbon, I guess, or white ribbon with metallic threads woven through it. And so you get a silver and a gold in that pack, and you can choose that for free with any $50 purchase from any of our catalogs during Occasions, which runs until March the 31st. So all of that out of the way, let's get started on making our card. So we're going to start with a base of the Whisper White thick cardstock. Now this is cut 8.5 by 5.5, and I've scored it here down the center at 4 1/4. And we are going to turn this, instead of making this an A2 card oriented portrait, we're going to turn it so it's landscape, and we've got our fold at the top, okay? Then we are going to take another layer of the thick Whisper White cardstock, and the reason I used the thick is because I wanted the color to be perfect, a perfect match, to have that tone-on-tone layering. But what I did was I took our brand new Falling Petals embossing folder, and I put that layer piece inside of the embossing folder and ran it through the Big Shot machine. And then it comes out just beautifully embossed with those little falling petals that look suspiciously like hearts, by the way. So that is the first layer of our card. And then to make our centerpiece here, I used some Designer Series paper from this suite. And what in the world? Oh, here it is right beside me. I used some Designer Series paper from this Sending Love suite, and this is the Sending Love DSP stack. And these are some seriously cute Valentine's type papers. This is in Real Red and Whisper White, and of course they are all double-sided. So you see you've got your real red side here, and you've got your Whisper White side here with real red accents. And these are just very cute papers in this paper stack. I would really suggest, if you're making Valentine's this year for your family, friends, or especially for your kids' classes, that type of thing, this is a fantastic paper stack to purchase. And it is available in the Occasions catalog. Okay, so we're going to be using some of that. And we're also going to be using the Layering Ovals framelits dies. And these are available in our annual catalog. And what I do, I just recently saw this on Facebook, I think. A gal said that she numbers these, and I don't know if you can see that. They're really tiny, but she numbers each die so that when she's putting together a class or something like that, or trying to explain which die she used to create something, that she can give the numbers, or that she knows which one she chose. And so what I did was I used this largest scalloped oval, which I have numbered 7, and then I used this second from the largest on the left-hand side on the bottom, plain oval, and I used the scallop oval to cut a scalloped oval from the Designer Series paper. Okay, so just put this on the Designer Series paper, ran it through the Big Shot machine, and out came my scalloped oval. This oval here, I used to cut, and where is it? I used to cut my sentiment, woo, here we go, from another piece of the thick Whisper White. And this was just, I mean, I cut it in half to make the card base, and then I cut the half into a quarter to make our first layer, so I had a quarter left. And so this is what I'm using to do our sentiment on. Now, our sentiment is heat embossed in our gold Stampin' embossing powder. Okay, and this is also available in our annual catalog. And you will need some Versamark ink. And this is just a clear sticky ink that will hold our embossing powder so that it doesn't, you know, slide off the page. We want the stamped image to hold the embossing powder. So here is my sentiment. It says Happy Valentine's Day, and it is from the Sealed with Love stamp set. Here, the Happy Valentine's Day sentiment. So we're going to take a piece of scrap paper and put that underneath our scrap of Whisper White. And then we will ink up our stamp with our Versamark ink. And again, you're not going to be able to see this because it's clear ink. And you basically are just using it to ensure that your embossing powder sticks on your stamped image. Okay? And so when you pull that up, you still won't really be able to see where you stamped unless you catch the light just right. I don't really have light that will catch it this evening. All right, and then we're going to pour our gold embossing powder over it, tap it off, and there we've got our embossing powder on our stamp. And so let's go ahead and clean up our embossing powder. This is how we do that with our scrap piece of paper. We're just going to funnel it right back into the jar because we don't want to waste any of that. And we'll get that closed up. And then we're going to bring in our Stampin' Up! Heat tool. Okay, so if you have your volume up, go ahead and turn it down because this can be a little bit loud. And we're just going to heat the embossing powder on this image until it turns metallic and glossy. All right, and so we'll just do that. All right, so our embossing powder is now all melted, and you can see that this is a glossy metallic finish now. So we're just going to take the die that we chose to cut this out, lay it over our stamped image, centering it up. We're going to run this through our die cut machine, and then we'll be able to assemble our card. So here is our oval all cut out with our Happy Valentine's Day at the center. Let's bring back in our oval that we created from the Designer Series paper. And we're just going to use some snail. You can see I already messed this one up. That's the awesome thing about paper. It has two sides. So when you mess up one side, you flip it over and try again. All right, we're going to put some snail on the back of that and center this up in the center of our Designer Series paper oval. All right, let's set that aside for a moment. Bring in our textured piece and our gold ribbon that we got from our Celebrations catalog. And we're going to do this kind of right along the bottom, and I will show you my cheater trick for applying ribbon in a perfect straight line. And it is called tear and tape. So I line up my layer, whatever I want to put ribbon on my grid paper, and I determine where I want it to go. So I run it through a block on that side and then straight over to the block on this side and tear. So now we have our tear and tape straight across the card, and I'm going to fold these edges just like that. Take off the release paper all the way across, okay? Now we're gonna lay that down gently because we've got adhesive on the backhand side, okay? And we want to leave a little tail on either side, but we are going to lay our ribbon right on top of that tear and tape. So it's in a nice straight line. And we're gonna carefully lift this up, flip it over, and flip our ends onto the tear and tape on the back side. And we'll use our Stampin' Up! Snips here. Super, super sharp, these things. And we will cut our ribbon just like that and lay it over the back. Okay, so we now have our ribbon in a nice straight line right across the front of our card. And that is my cheater way. So we can now attach our embossed layer to our card front. And because this is textured, I am going to use fast fuse to make that happen. It's a bit stronger than snail, obviously. And with the textured surface, I just don't want to take any chances on this popping off, especially with the ribbon in the center. So we'll just put some fast fuse on the back of that. Center this up. Now, I did not tell you the measurements as I was going through the pieces that we need for this card, but rest assured they will be on my blog. And in this case, I have only left 1/8 of an inch difference between the card base and the textured layer. So we have our textured layer, our ribbon, and now we need to place our Happy Valentine's Day on that. And we're going to do that using some Stampin' Dimensionals. And so I just, I'm an over-dimensionaler. Is that a word? I made it a word. Now it's a word. I'm an over-dimensionaler, and I tend to put a lot of dimensionals on stuff. So I put a bunch of dimensionals on the back of this. You can put as many as you are comfortable with. I just don't like it to collapse. I don't want it to smoosh anywhere. And so I over-dimensional, but completely up to you how you want to attach this. I use dimensionals because I wanted some dimension to it, obviously. All right, so we're going to center this up on our card front, just like that. Okay, and so now we need to make our little bow. And you may be an expert bow tire. I am not. And so I, again, have to cheat. And I cheat by using a bow jig. And this is just a simple little bow jig that I picked up online. I can't really even remember where. It's been quite some time ago. But basically what you do is you bring your ribbon around the front of the two pegs, and you can spread them out to make your bow big, small, however you want to do it. Cross them over in the back. Bring your tail underneath and over the center, and then tie your knot in the back here and pull it tight, just like so. And then, when you pull your ribbon off the jig, you have a nice little bow that makes it look like you know how to tie bows. And I don't. So this is my cheater way of doing it. Okay, enough about me cheating. We are going to go ahead and cut our tails at a little bit of an angle with our snips, and then we just need a glue dot here, and we're going to attach our bow to our card and kind of puff it up and make it look the way we want it to look. Just like that. Okay, and there's our little bow. Now, lastly, you will notice that there are teeny little hearts on this card, and I bet you're wondering where those came from because they are not enamel shapes. They are made by using the Heart Confetti Border Punch, and I just took that same designer series paper that we cut our oval from and put it in the punch, and look, I have little teeny hearts to use. And to attach these, I have kind of a special tool here. This is just a little quick stick. It has a sticky end, so you can pick up these teeny little things. And we're going to use some of our Tombow Mono liquid glue and just kind of make tiny little dots of glue where you want to attach these hearts. And then your little quicker picker-upper stick thing here can pick those hearts up, and we will place them on our card front where we want them. And I just did that kind of randomly, and I used kind of different sized hearts, and let's see, I want big hearts for the bottom. All right, so there are my hearts. Woo, sliding around on the front of the card. So we've got our little hearts placed. We can put our little sticky guy away. And the other thing that I did just to kind of jazz up the hearts is that I used, again, you know how much I love these teeny weeny little pearls that come with our basic pearls. And I just used one teeny weeny one and put it in the center of the large heart here. And that completes our card. So there is your Happy Valentine's Day card, and hopefully you can, good Lord, even with a bow jig, I can't make a bow to save my life. So you can play with that. Maybe you're an expert bow tyer. I just am not. Thank you very much for coming and spending time with me today. I've enjoyed it, and I look forward to doing so again soon. Take care.